Hello and welcome to Jammu Links in Conversation with series. Our guest of today is Chief Electoral Officer. He is an IAS who is also well known for his expertise in management skills in conducting all the assignments assigned to him with vigor and excellence. A mechanical engineer by education background, he was appointed the post of CEO on 18th of June 2015. This dynamic officer is always immersed in thoughts of charting out strategies for the betterment of voters and voting rights. It brings us immense pleasure and pride to introduce the forever soft-spoken Mr. Shantmanu, the Chief Electoral Officer, J&K.
Hello, thank you.
So presently you are busy with the preparations of National Voters Day to be celebrated in the state, which is falling on 25th of Jan. So tell us about it.
That's a great day for the Election Commission of India and for this office also, because that's the Voters Day, National Voters Day. And this will be the 6th National Voters Day.
Okay.
All over country it is being celebrated. Here also in the state it is being celebrated all over the state. And particularly the state function will be held here in Police Auditorium, Jammu.
Okay.
So that will be great fun.
We hope so, sir. Sir, also congratulations. The department was recently awarded at the this Matdata Mahotsav in Delhi, and it was also awarded at best this management of polling thing along with 3 other states in 2014. So share your experience in the same, sir.
Yes, the first time Election Commission of India on a very large scale celebrated this Matdata Mahotsav, that is International Voters Festival, in which more than 7 countries participated.
Okay.
And as far as our own country is concerned, all states and all union territories participated. So we had put up our stalls there, displaying our election materials and awareness materials. In addition to that, there were various cultural programs put up by us, all of course on the election theme only. So we had very good drama and act played by Natrang Theatre. We had the local Jammu Geetlu song and dance by Rumalu Ram and other the reputed artists from the state. They were also there. We had live painting by the Jammu painters. So I mean all these activities, they were judged by the reputed judges over there.
Okay.
And based on our performance, cultural programs, our election materials, our pavilion performances, so based on all these, top 3 states were awarded. So J&K was one of them. We got the award.
So could you please elaborate on your role as a CEO, as you were, and how different is it from your earlier assignments? Like you were Deputy Commissioner also, then you were in Land and Revenue Department also, and I believe you also worked in Forest Department altogether. So how's the role different from what you are playing right now, and what is it exactly like?
I mean, different assignments have different challenges and different, I mean, what you say, thrills also. But here I think the Office of Chief Electoral Office, this is the backbone of the democracy. I mean, here we look every action of us from a perspective that how to strengthen our democratic system. Indian democratic system particularly is already known all over the world, but how to make it more, I mean, more challenging, more vibrant. So depending on that, of course, this assignment is entirely different from all my previous assignments, particularly the assignment of Divisional Commissioner Jammu, which I held for nearly 2 years. This is different, but it is very interesting, particularly how to enroll as many electors as possible, and then how to motivate them, educate them so that they should become more aware citizen, aware voter.
As we all know that the urban local body elections were delayed due to some unforeseen reasons. So what are the challenges are we looking at it as an CEO?
See, 2016 again will be an election year, I mean, to that extent, as you said. So we will be having panchayat elections and we should be having municipal elections also. And in addition, we'll be having few by-elections also in Kashmir. So challenges, there are few regular challenges in our state for any election. One is the weather. Weather is always a challenge to us. See here, even the January 3rd week, we have such a severe cold here. So you don't never know, the weather will always be a challenge for us, be it any month, for any part of the state. And then of course, sometimes border tension is there. So for the bordering districts, that challenge is always there, and sometimes anti-militant activities, terrorist activities, they also pose a challenge to us. From our side, from the CEO office side, our main challenge is to update our electoral roll as much as possible. So for that, we have recently concluded our summary revision of electoral roll, and we have included more than 1,73,000 voters to our electoral roll. But still, we have to go a long distance. And whenever these elections are finally notified, just before that, we'll have another quick summary revision. In that, we will try to get as many voters who are left behind so far to get them registered, so that our voter list is as pure as possible. So that will be the most challenge for us.
You said that 1.73 lakh voters are added.
Yeah.
So what is the secret behind it? Is online registration?
No, still the online percentage is very few. It's mostly through the various camps we hold during this division exercise, and also the sweep activities. You know, in the schools and colleges and other nukkad nataks and all those things, the sweep activities have really worked very well, and through them the people have got to know. They're like even National Voters Day function also will be having more than 300 or 400 people over there, and that is also sort of sweep activity. And all the new voters, some of the new voters will be given epic card then and there itself. So all these have played a very positive role, and that is the reason that we have added so much votes in a single exercise.
But sir, there are probably a lot of pending registrations also. So how's the department dealing with that?
See, all these exercises have to be done regularly, so that all these pending cases, as you said, have to be cleared. But as far as present case is concerned, there is no pending as such, except that there were few cases in where there were few disputes and all. So in fact, most of these cases are pending cases only, 1,73,000. They were cleared because of that only, the pendency was cleared.
So like you said that we have increased 1.73 lakh of voters also, and out of the 65,000 is among the youth. So what is the counting for the third gender registrations?
Third gender registration was introduced, rather third gender voting I can say. This was introduced only in 2014, recently, and even during parliamentary elections and our assembly elections also. So during that process only this exercise was initiated for them, and I am really glad to know that I think around 60, I don't have a precise number right now, around 60 such cases were registered. And even this exercise also, the recently concluded exercises, we have got 20 more cases. So now there are now around 80 such cases are there all over the state. So their presence have been acknowledged, and they have equal rights both as far as candidates and voters.
Candidate to fight the elections. Are you getting applications on the same?
Not yet so far, but maybe in future we will get, because in other parts of the country we do have such cases, and some of these candidates have won also.
Okay. Yeah.
So, so maybe this will guide them further, and this says, so we have acknowledged the rights of them also. So they have equal rights like all of us.
Sir, what are your suggestions on election reforms? Especially we see cases of issuing of bribes, then we also see incidents of violence happening. So what are your suggestions to that?
See, it's all through voter education and voter awareness campaign and all that too. And particularly since we have now more and more of youth voters, so that becomes very important. That becomes easier also for us, because youth are more aware. They know that these things, these malpractices, they do not help in any way neither to voter nor to society. And like in this voter division also, out of 1,73,000, more than 65,000 are fresh voters, 18 plus. So I am quite sure that 18-year-old boy or girl will not be allured by any inducement or any such thing. So that is good. And even law and order situation, of course, now the people have become more aware for the last few years. So I am quite sure that the next elections, whichever elections are held, at least such cases will not be in that much, to that extent as it was in the earlier. And then we have model code of conduct in place. We also have our teams which go after the candidates and everything is reported, everything is judged, and the other parties are also watching them. So everything is under monitoring and surveillance system. So its situation is improved now.
You're doing a lot of sweep activities and all, but we still find that a lot of times when the youth or say the middle-aged person, they prefer to enjoy the holiday, go out and not vote.
Very right, yeah.
So what are your plans to allure them for voting?
Very right. Even now in the last assembly election, the voting percentage was around 66%. And ideally this should be around 90%. That is the upper limit, because 10% are always few voters we have either died or we're not in a position to come to polling station. So we are still nearly 24% in that gap.
Exactly.
So that is a huge gap, although this percentage average is more than national average, but still we have a long way to go. And as I said that since now we have more of youth voters who have come into this electoral role, so they will certainly go to cast vote. That will be their first time. That is one. Secondly, this exercise also, we deleted a lot of voters. Out of, like as I said, 1.73 was added. Against that, nearly 1,20,000 votes were deleted also.
Okay.
Those who died, those who have shifted, or those who had duplicate votes at 2 or 3 more than 2 places. So if we look at that point of view, that's another, it has become more pure now. But even then there were nearly 24% voters who did not actually physically go to cast their vote. So I mean, through all these sweep activities, if you look at any of our play, in most of these plays, all those who do not go to cast their vote, they are ridiculed by others, and particularly by their children. Okay, mummy aap gaye nahi vote dene, daddy aap gaye nahi vote dene. So a sort of atmosphere environment is created at every home on election day, particularly. You know, every TV channels or everywhere elections are being showed and displayed, so that even those who don't go to cast their vote, they are asked by others, bhai jao tum vote do. So a sort of that environment is created, and that helps. And then these sweep activities will have to be fastened. It has to be done will be on a higher scale during that period. More of such activities will be held during that period. Then only we will be able to increase our voting percentage.
So like social media has taken
Social media is the very most important tool now.
Exactly.
Most potent tool, yeah.
So you intend to plan some activities on that too?
I think not in official matters, but of course that is always there. And we use certainly that FM channel or radio, TV, newspaper. These are the regular channels we use. And why not? I think maybe in future we can think of using that also. But in any case, that's always used by the private persons among themselves.
One more thing, whenever voting is done, there is always talks of bogus voting happening. How do you intend to counter that?
I don't think that is not the case right now when EVMs are used. Now, since we have electronic voting machines are used, they are perfectly all right, and they are being tested before all the agents, polling agents, and all the parties in their presence. So there is hardly any scope of any tampering in that case. And now we have got VVPAT scheme also, where the voters also issued a slip as a token of proof that okay, you have cast a vote through EVM machine. That was introduced in the last election only on a very experimental basis, and that worked well. So keeping that in view, I don't think there is any chance of bogus vote through EVM. Of course, I mean, and then voter I card is there, EPIC card and photograph is there. Now EPIC percentage, I was looking at my figures, nearly 90% of our voters have been issued EPIC card now.
Okay.
And most of them bring their EPIC card also at the polling station. So their photographs are also tallied. So that way, at least that percentage has reduced to a great extent.
So any message you'd like to share with our viewers, especially to the youth of the state?
I must say that we should all take it pride that we live in India. We are Indians, and India is emerging as one of the largest and the strongest democracy all over the world. And elections are, of course, they are the pillars of through proper elections only we can further strengthen our democracy. So to make it more success, a much better thing in future, we should always think that this is our right also, that immediately after attaining the age of 18 we must get ourselves registered, we must cast our vote, and that should be an ethical voting. Ethical voting means we must judge our candidates, who are the candidates, what are their assets and liabilities, what are their past records, antecedents, what are their aspirations, and in what way can they contribute to our society. Do we really connect and relate to them, all those sort of things. So after assessing the suitability of the candidate, they should freely go there and cast their vote. That is the main message I have for them. And then secondly, all of us should feel that we are a part of the same democracy and all of us are equally important. We should not be swayed by anything, any inducement or any allurement or anything. So this is the message I would like to give.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a privilege talking to you and knowing your thoughts. It's really an honor.
Thank you.